I'd like to talk to you about something I call the dark side of manifesting. Now, source consciousness is beyond the idea of duality or the experience of duality. Source consciousness is the experience of one connection beyond. The reality is that it is even beyond experience, because in order to experience something, you need to be an identity. You need to have an ego to have an experience. And so you need the world of form, because this is how consciousness awakens to itself, through form, through all the myriad variations of creation. And in the world of creation, we have an experience called duality. And in that duality, what we're really experiencing is either a harmony or a polarization of masculine and feminine energy. Now, we know that the law says that like energy attracts like energy. We know that the mirror effect is that whatever is within is without, whatever is above is below, right? As above, so below. So we know that there is a continual reflective experience happening in the world of form, right? And then we've learned that we can manifest what we hold in thought and in emotional vibration, in frequency, into physical being, because this is what God does, or source, right? Let there be light, and light is spoken. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and with God, and the Word became flesh. And so these things are indicative of what it is that happens in the world of manifestation. Now, you've probably watched the movie The Secret, or you've probably read the book and have maybe listened to Abraham Hicks or read some of her books. Now, there is a dark side to manifesting or attracting, whatever it is, however you want to frame it, whatever terminology you'd like to give it, but it's essentially the same thing. It's where whatever I hold within manifests outwardly, internal cause, external effect. Now, here's the dark side of it. You are told and taught by the law that what you think about, you bring about. Yes, this is true. And when the law of attraction craze came out in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, so many people were creating vision boards and doing visualizations and got results from it. And then they created other things that they didn't know or were expecting to create. They've created calamity or trouble or problems or suffering, right? And that is the dark side of manifestation that nobody talks about in the books or the videos, because it doesn't sell very well. And although my intention for my life is to bring healing and love and light and all these different things to the world, I have no intention of being a snake oil salesman, so I will tell you the truth. The dark side of manifesting is this. Yes, you can create your reality with your thoughts and your vibrations, which is essentially your emotions. That's your frequency that you're tapping into. also you will create calamity and trouble and problems and suffering in your experience too, because you are unaware of something that is absolutely fundamental to your psyche, to your experience of consciousness, and that is your subconscious or your unconscious. Let me give you an example. Let's say you wanted to manifest more money in your life. So you start applying for jobs that pay more, or you buy a course online to make more money on the side as a side hustle, or you do Uber or whatever it is. You know that you want to earn more, and you understand that the universe is abundant and it's your birthright to have abundance. So why can't you experience financial abundance? So you go about doing actions that are to bring about financial abundance, and you look for different things and avenues to be able to experience that, right? Now, here is the issue with that, is if you've ever been on a path towards creating financial abundance and plenty and bountifulness for your life, and then have experienced periods of lack and scarcity, what you are experiencing is a fight between beliefs, because you may have a desire, which is what the desire attracts, or the desire brings about the manifestation, the physical expression of the idea you're holding within this thought form. But then you have an actual experience of the polar opposite of what your desire is. So on your way to manifesting, you may attract a bill that you didn't expect, or losing money, or having to come out of pocket for fixing your car, or something that ended up throwing your plans off of developing financial abundance, to now having to live from this scarcity lack place where you are playing catch up and you are suffering financially, right? What's happening is, on the one end, your desire is bringing about a physical manifestation, and on the other end, there is a belief in your subconscious that is a belief in lack or scarcity, right? So, for example, if you grew up impoverished on any level, and you were always told there's not enough money for this, or there's not enough money for that, or I don't have money to get that for you, and you develop this belief as a kid that there's not enough, but then as you become an adult, you realize there actually is enough and I have access to it. The issue is that unless you are aware of the limiting belief within your consciousness, you will not be able to tap into the desires unless you clear up in your subconscious mind and in your body, in your energy body. You clear up that shadow self-belief, right? Because here is the thing that is driving your desire for wealth. And I'm using this as an example, and this goes for any desire we want in life. Oftentimes, I have found and discovered that desires mask avoiding experiencing a limitation. So if you grew up without a lot, and then you are an adult now and you want to experience having plenty and a lot, the desire, what is actually driving your desire for having a lot, is the fear of not having, because you experience it in that younger phase of your life or at some point in your life, and now you avoid and deflect and don't deal with the emotional landscape that has to do with that belief. So that belief is lodged within your consciousness, right, in the subconscious part, right? And so because you say, oh, I don't want to experience poverty, let me lust after wealth, or let me lust after a partner because I don't want to experience loneliness, right? And not knowing that most people try to manifest their life from a lack place. They try to manifest their life from a scarcity place, where it's coming from. I don't want to be poor, so let me try to be rich. I don't want to be alone, so let me try to be in love, right? I don't want to be ugly, so let me try to work out and go to the gym and wear all this makeup or buy these expensive clothes and have this image, so that way I'm not looked at as ugly or undesirable. And so a lot of the times, unless we are non-attached and living from this space of already fulfillment, being whole from source consciousness, right? We will oftentimes look and seek and search for things that are really being driven by an insecurity, right? When girls go boy crazy, right? And they seek male attention a lot, or vice versa, when males seek women attention a lot, there's oftentimes a lack of self-acceptance, a lack of self-love, self-security, self-confidence, right? And the responsibility for that human to have that lies initially within the early formative years of their psyche as a child. But if their parent doesn't have the skill set or the tools to actually pour into that child the way they need, then that child will be neglected emotionally and mentally and left lacking, right? So if we explore and begin to look at where our desires actually stem from, with enough openness and honesty and a willingness to look at those aspects of us, we can discover that a lot of that comes from limiting beliefs that we have about the world, about ourselves, about others, right? And a lot of these limiting beliefs are established paradigms that happened to us when we were younger or at some point in our formative years, right? And a lot of us will have these beliefs as a fundamental underlying assumption about how the world works. And this is why some people stay in the rut forever, whatever rut it is in their life. The rut remains because there's a conflict, there's attraction and then repulsion. It's desire, resist, right? I desire this, but then there's something within me that resists it, because what I'm manifesting outwardly is the very opposite of what I actually want to experience. Why am I experiencing the very opposite of the thing that I want to experience in my life? What is it? And I'm telling you right now, it is your shadow self. It is those parts of you that you repress, that you think are unworthy, that you think are unlovely, that you think are not valid, and all of the emotions that come along with that too, invalidating, right? So because imagine this, let's go there. Like, if you have a judgment on experiencing poverty, right? An emotion that might come up is emotion of sadness or an emotion of frustration, which is an offshoot of anger, right? And you also might experience feeling not good enough, or feeling unworthy, or feeling like you don't have a lot of value, right? And so you don't want to feel those things. So instead of feeling them, you will repress them and force them down, and then go, let me look for money, let me look for ways to develop abundance, so that way I don't have to feel unworthy, I don't have to feel not good enough, I don't have to feel invalidated, I don't have to feel like I don't have value, right? But it is those very aspects of you that require your love, your attention, and your acceptance in order to transcend them. Because the moment that you release your judgment on those aspects of you that feel not valuable, that feel unworthy, that feel not good enough, you can now transcend them and establish a belief of I am good enough, I am valuable, I am worthy, from being clear. So this is my video on the dark side of manifesting. And this applies to anything. So if you would like a little bit more on this, make a request, and I can talk a little bit more about this. But thank you for watching this video, and if you find value, please follow, like, share, subscribe, all that, and I'll catch you